Meta has promised about 1,000 people will be hired to work at its Richland Parish data center and that the energy costs won't be passed on down to the public. But at a hearing yesterday in Baton Rouge, the company fought back against revealing any more details about those numbers. It comes the same week that an investigation by Gulf States newsroom reporter Drew Hawkins revealed the governor has signed a non-disclosure agreement with the company. So yesterday you were at this hearing in Baton Rouge. Can you tell me just generally what it was about? Why were people meeting?
Yeah, so this was a hearing in front of what's called an administrative law judge. And these are specialty judges that will issue rulings that then go to the Public Service Commission, help inform decisions that the Public Service Commission is going to make as it relates to, utilities, electricity. So there were three motions that were being heard, but essentially what was happening is interveners, as they're known, which are the Alliance for Affordable Energy, Earth Justice, Union for Concerned Scientists. There's several of them lumped together in this group called interveners. And what they're trying to get is they want to know how Meta came up with the permanent jobs numbers that they say the data center in Richland Parish will employ when it's finished, as well as how they came up with the electricity needs that the site will use.
And these are things that they should be able to answer at this point in the plans, right? There's been so much already laid out and construction has begun. So they should know these things, right?
Oh, they do know them. I mean, they have public releases, press releases. It's on their website. 1,000 jobs will be created. We need 10 new gas plants. They're saying this publicly, right? But what they haven't revealed is how they came up with that math. What they did to figure out the calculations. That's what it is that they don't want to reveal. And the reasons that the Meta lawyers give is that that is proprietary information. Those are trade secrets, and that would benefit their competitors and harm Meta as a company. That's the argument they use for not revealing that information.
We were to take that at face value and say, okay, that is proprietary information. What harm does that do to the Louisiana taxpayer? Why do we deserve to know how many jobs and how much energy is going into this?
Well, I think with the amount of investment that the state is putting into this project, or the amount of incentives that the state is giving Meta in order to build this project here, and if a big economic benefit or a supposed economic benefit is we'll have 1,000 local jobs, permanent full-time jobs in Richland Parish, which is, one of the poorest parishes in the state. So that on its face sounds like a great benefit. And if the electricity usage is, X number of usage, X number of watts, and that this actually will be a benefit to ratepayers, it actually won't make your bills go up, because we've heard from experts who submitted their findings to the PSC, the Public Service Commission, that these new infrastructure they're building, the power they're generating, could pass on to ratepayers between $8 to $13 per person a month, right? So it's not nothing. I mean, $8 to your electricity bill a month for a project that you have no involvement with, you should know why that's happening.
So imagine that there's an element of precedent here too, right?
Well, the precedent is being set in this moment. I mean, this is a really historic moment for Louisiana. I talked to Devontae Lewis, one of the public service commissioners, yesterday, and one of the things he said to me was interesting was that Louisiana, unlike many states, is pretty used to large load electrical uses. We have so many refineries here. We have so many big plants here. He said about 25% of the entire electricity used in the state goes to what are called large load customers, your chemical plants, your refineries, right? So we were kind of primed in a sense to handle a new large load customer, but nothing of this scale. Nobody has ever seen anything as large as what Meta is doing in Richland Parish. And there are plenty of other data centers coming down the line. I mean, we've got Amazon in Bossier and Caddo parishes, Applied Digital in Rapides, Hut 8 in West Feliciana. The list goes on and on. There may be more in the future. So whatever happens with these rulings and these decisions with Meta will set the precedent going forward, because a data center, being built in the future, if Meta doesn't have to reveal this information, that data center company will very rightly say, well, Meta didn't have to do it, so why do I have to do it, right? So this is a really big moment as it relates to energy usage in the state and, what information companies have to give us before those decisions are approved.
All right, Drew, thank you so much. This is a lot of information for people to take in, I'm sure, but it's
It
important
is.
to pay attention to.